so TXV, we're going to talk about diagnosing a failed closed TXV. So first off, the bulb is an opening force. As the refrigerant in the bulb gets warmer, the pressure increases and pushes the TXV open. All right. The spring and equalizing tube are the closing force. So just keep that in mind, right? Not so much in diagnosing, but it's important to know how it works. First, a closing TXV will cause a high superheat every time, right? So, thank you for filming, I appreciate it. So if you see a low superheat, that's most likely not a failed closed TXV. That's usually airflow or too much refrigerant. You know, when it's restricted, you're getting less refrigerant into the coil, so there's less pressure, it's boiling off quicker, it's picking up more heat. Never quote a TXV that has a normal or low superheat, okay? If it has either of those, don't quote it. Look at airflow, okay? Second, a failing closed TXV will cause a low temp split. There's less refrigerant coming into the coil, so it absorbs less heat from the air and you get a low split. So, to go over that again, if you have a low superheat or normal superheat, don't quote a TXV. If you have a normal or high split, don't quote a TXV. Okay, because neither of those are symptoms of a failing closed TXV. All right. Third, a failing closed TXV will have a good subcool. Why is that? Because we have enough refrigerant, right? So we have a full line of liquid. The subcool tells us that we have enough refrigerant in the system. If we're low on refrigerant, we would have a low subcool and similar symptoms. In this case, we would have a normal to high subcool. Okay, because we have a full line of liquid up to meter. Okay, does that make sense? All right. Fourth thing here, take all the readings, don't just assume based on one or two. All right, so that means get your split, get your superheat, get your suction pressure, get your head pressure, get your subcool, and then always check airflow. So we're checking coil, we're checking filter, looking for anything that might be obstructing airflow. Okay. Yeah. Fifth, always assume it's airflow. Okay. It's most likely going to be airflow. TXVs are pretty frequently failing, but always check airflow first. Assume that that's what the issue is, because low airflow can cause similar issues. All right. This is an interesting test. So to properly identify airflow as the thing that is causing a TXV to shut down, you have to shut off the system, let the coil get warm, and the pressures to equalize. Turn the system on and wait about 5 minutes. If it's airflow, the system will run like a cold line right after it kicks back on. You'll have a high split or a normal to low superheat. Okay? So airflow, you will have a high split or a normal split because the air is passing slower across that coil, so it's absorbing more heat from the air. Okay? You will have a low superheat if it's airflow because it's absorbing less heat because there's less air passing across that coil. So again, if you have a low superheat or normal superheat, it's probably not a TXV. Okay. Triple confirm, run it in heat mode, check that comment section. Okay, I found that when you run it in heat mode and it's low on refrigerant, it's usually going to be more apparent that it's low on refrigerant. Your pressures will be much lower. Okay. If it's a TXV that's failing, your suction pressure should look normal or high because it's hot outside. Okay. So if you think it's the TXV, as a final thing, just hook up to your common, run in heat mode. If you have low pressures, it's probably not TXV. Okay. If you have a normal or high suction pressure, it's probably the TXV at that point, the cool mode TXV, because it's only affecting it in cool mode, right? That makes sense? Okay. And then this sometimes works. You can remove the bulb from the TXV, right? Your bulb is your closing force, so you remove that from the suction line, take it outside the panel so it's just hanging, right? So now it's absorbing the heat from the outdoor air. Technically, it should open back up right? If it does not open at all, then you know it's a TXV because there's something mechanically wrong with it. If it does open, then you're looking at potentially a different issue, right? Because you changed the temperature of that bowl and the refrigerant inside the bowl. And then if it changes, then you know it's probably not the TXV at that point, okay? Yeah, and then check airflow again, right? Always check airflow before you quote a TXV. Because if you quote a TXV and that coil is internally impacted or covered in growth, that's gonna really screw up all your readings. So just make sure, checking airflow first, right? You're looking at your subcool. Subcool is a big indicator whether or not it's low on refrigerant. If it's low on refrigerant, you're gonna see a low suction pressure, a high superheat, right, because there's not much refrigerant in the coil. You're going to see a low subcool because there's not very much refrigerant in the liquid line, right? Okay. If it's a TXV issue, you're going to have all the same indicators, but in this case, you're going to have a normal to high subcool and a normal to high head pressure, right? So you have enough refrigerant in the system. It's just the TXV is not allowing enough refrigerant. Okay. Again, if you have a good or normal split, it's probably not the TXV. If you have a low or normal superheat, probably not the TXV. It's most likely airflow, and we want to focus on airflow.
Thanks for watching. If you're willing, give this video a thumbs up and drop us a comment. Don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay updated with all of our future videos. And as a quick reminder, HVAC School isn't just a YouTube channel. Dive deeper with us at our main website, hvacrschool.com. Curious for more knowledge on the go? We've got you covered. Tune into the HVAC School podcast, available on all your favorite podcast apps. And while you're at it, join our thriving Facebook group. Also, don't miss out on our free mobile applications available for both iPhone and Android. We're all about community. For techs, by techs.